Hello and welcome back to another video on the Football Zone and to another weekend preview, and let's get straight into it with the Premier League action. On Saturday at the time we have Southampton taking on Manchester United, and this is an interesting game because I think both teams haven't maybe had the start of the season they wanted before last weekend, where both teams got big victories and both teams be looking to carry in the momentum. But yeah, when you just look at the two squads, I think you have to say Man United are considered favourites here. They need to build momentum from that Liverpool game. I think they will do. I think they're going to pick up a 2-0 win. Moving on then to another interesting one as Brentford take on Everton. And yeah, Brentford, after getting into that game against Fulham and then throwing it away again, I think they'll be super frustrated. They need to get back into this one with a win here against an Everton side that, is really struggling at the moment and need a win themselves. But, I think Brentford will just be so enraged, especially at home, by that loss to Fulham, that they'll really want to back it up here. And I think they will do, to be honest. I'm going to say it will be a 1-0, close but hard-fought win for the Bees. Moving on then to Brighton as they take on Leeds at the Amex. And yeah, Brighton, what a start to the season it's been for them. As for Leeds, really, I think if someone said both these teams would be 4th and 5th, I probably wouldn't have believed you. But yeah, it's just a sign of how well these teams started, and they need to carry the momentum here. But Brighton being at home, I think on paper as well, they do probably have the slightly better squad as well, so I think they'll be coming into this one full of confidence, really, and I think they will pick up the victory here. I'm going to say it will be a close one, but I'm going to say it will be 1-0 to Brighton. Chelsea take on Leicester at the Stamford Bridge on Saturday in the Premier League. And yeah, Chelsea, they need a win here, really, don't they? I mean, 1 point from the last 2 games, really disappointing. But against the Leicester side, who are really struggling themselves, just 1 point so far. Still very little sign of incomings, and Fofana potentially going out as maybe well as a few others. So yeah, both teams need a win here. But Chelsea at home, they seem to be in a bit less turmoil than Leicester. I'm going to say 2-0 to them. Liverpool take on Bournemouth at Anfield, and yeah, this is another intriguing one because Liverpool 2 points from 3 games. Who saw that coming? Really poor start to the season. The defence is a bit of a shambles against the Bournemouth side, who are off got that Villa opening day win against Villa, but except for them, it's been a bit downhill really. But to be fair, they have played Man City and Arsenal, so can't really judge it. But Liverpool, I think this is just an absolute massive win for them. If they want any hope of even challenging for the title at this stage, I'm going to say it will be, and I'm going to be 3-0 to the poll. Man City then take on Palace at the Etihad at Saturday at 3 o'clock. And yeah, City, dropping points to Newcastle last month, they'll be frustrated as hell by that one. But still in the end, not a bad recovery. Crystal Palace getting a big win against Villa last time out, they'll be delighted. They've already been to Anfield and taken points here, so they'll be saying, why can't they do it at the Etihad? Can they? Of course they can. But, I think it's very unlikely they will be able to do it. They do have a good record, but I still back City here to get the victory. And in the end, I think City will be angry after last week. 4-0. Brutal. Arsenal then take on Fulham at the Emirates in the 5:30 game. And Arsenal will be looking to carry on their brilliant start to the season. The only team with a perfect record after 3 games with 9 points. And yeah, what a brilliant start it's been for them against the Fulham side, who've also started well. So they won't be any pushovers. 5 points from 3 games, including a draw against Liverpool, and yeah, it could easily have been 7, so a really good start to the season for them. But I think Arsenal will have too much for them the way they're playing so far. I'm going to say 2-0. Moving on then to Sunday's action, and Aston Villa take on West Ham at Villa Park. And yeah, this is a big game for both sides because after Villa's 3-1 loss to Palace last time out, they were even called to Gerrard to go. And Villa haven't been great recently. Neither have West Ham, who currently sit bottom, yeah, you heard that right, of the Premier League, the only team with 0 points. So yeah, they really do need to sort out. So this is a big game for both these sides heading into the break. And yeah, I feel like West Ham will just have enough to edge it. I'm going to say 1-0. Moving on then to Wolves as they take on Newcastle at Molineux. And Wolves, yeah, I don't know, it hasn't been a great start to the season for them. 1 point so far, but they weren't terrible last time out against Tottenham, so maybe they'll gain the confidence from that. But Newcastle, brilliant start to the season, and then drawing with Man City last time out. What a brilliant result that was in 6th on the table. They'll be looking to build momentum, but Molineux is a tough place to go. I can see it being quite a close, scrappy game, and in the end, I'm going to say it'll be a draw, 1 apiece. Nottingham Forest then take on Tottenham in their 4:30 game in the Premier League, and Forest, 4 points from the last 2. They'll come into this one with more and more confidence. but also against the Tottenham side, who are playing really well at the moment as well. So yeah, this will be a major test for Nottingham Forest, but I think it's at the same time it'll be a game that Tottenham really are expecting to win, to be honest. So yeah, I think Tottenham have to be considered favourites here, but you never really know, do you? I'm going to say it'll be 2-0 to Spurs. Moving on then to the Championship, and starting off with the Friday night football at Kenilworth Road as Luton take on Sheffield United, and Luton of course got a big win last night over Swansea, and that will give them much needed momentum after a bit of a slow start, but Sheffield United flying themselves as well, top of the table, won the last two, so yeah, they'll be coming to this one full of confidence as well. So you know, it kind of makes it a hard game to call, but I think Luton kind of will be back after a really disappointing start to the season with that win last week, so I think it'll be a close game to call, but in the end I'm going to say it'll be a 1-1 draw. Moving on then to the Stadium of Light as Sunderland take on Norwich in the lunchtime Saturday game, and Sunderland getting a 1-0 win over Stoke last time was a really good result for them, but Norwich, they seem to be hitting form as well, won the last 2 games, and that will give them some major confidence now. Took them a couple of games to kind of readjust to life in the Championship almost, you could say, but they seem to have done that successfully now, and I can see them going on a bit of a run. So yeah, this will be a big tough game for Sunderland. I can see Norwich just about edging past them. I'm going to say 2-1 to Norwich. Moving on then to Ewood Road as Blackburn take on Stoke, and it was a brilliant start for Blackburn, wasn't it? Until it wasn't really, with 2 3-0 losses in succession. They need to get back on form soon. But against the Stoke side, who had a really poor start to the season, 21st, really not meeting expectations, they'll want to win here. To get back on track. They've had a week to kind of digest it without any league football, and I think Blackburn will get the win here. I think it'll be a tight one, but I think they're just going to edge it 1-0. Moving on then to Blackpool as they take on Bristol City at Bloomfield Road, and Blackpool, it's not been a bad start to the season for them, has it? In 11th, Bristol City in 7th as well, so I think both sides will be relatively content with their start to the season, and this game where they really want to press home their good start to the season. I think it'll be a tight game between two sides. I think most people would say a pretty evenly match, but I don't know, with that home advantage, I just maybe fancy Blackpool here to edge it in what will be a tight game. I'm going to say 1-0. Moving on then to Cardiff as they take on Preston at the Cardiff City Stadium. Yeah, this is an interesting one. Cardiff obviously were on a decent run, but then lost 2-0 to Bristol City last time out, so they'll be frustrated by that. But and yeah, Preston, they don't concede goals, but they don't don't score them either. So yeah, kind of a weird start to the season for them, in terms of the league at least. But yeah, in terms of this one, I think it'll be a close game, but I can see Cardiff just about edging out. I'm going to say 1-0. Moving on then to Huddersfield as they take on West Brom at the John Smith Stadium, and yeah, this is another interesting game. I think it was a big win for West Brom last time out, a big win in terms of context and of course the number of goals they scored, and yeah, they can really take some momentum from that. Norwich just edging past Huddersfield as well. They're really improving after a dodgy start to the season as well, but yeah, I just look at the quality in the West Brom side, and I think they could really start to click now and cause problems for one or two teams in this league, and I think they will do again here. I'm going to say 2-0. Moving on then to Hull as they take on Coventry at the KCOM, and yeah, Hull, they've come into this on the back of a 5-2 defeat from West Brom, as I just mentioned, and 1-1 draw with that before. They've dropped down to 6th in the table, so we're in second, still a decent start to the season against Coventry side, who've only played 2 games of course with their injury issues, and have already only got 1 point, so yeah, I think Hull will come into this one feeling confident. I'm going to say 1-0. Moving on into the Den as Millwall take on Reading at the Denari. But anyway, yeah, this is an intriguing game because Millwall obviously not on the best of run at the moment, only 1 point from the last 2 games, whereas Reading picked up 6 points from the last 6 and are a really, really good run. And yeah, maybe a few people were wrong about Paul Ince because who had Reading 3rd place at the beginning of the season. But yeah, their away form isn't that great. They seem to be picking up all their points at home. So, I don't think Reading may not be coming to this one feeling too confident, but who knows. I just fancy Millwall to edge it here despite league table positions 2-1. Moving on then to Rotherham as they take on Birmingham at the New York Stadium, and Rotherham, kind of like Reading, I would say, have maybe surprised a few. 13th place so far, not bad at all. 6 points from 4 games. Obviously got a game in hand on most teams, and Birmingham down in 18th, not been the best of starts for them. And yeah, I think this is a game which they'll kind of have to target here to get a win. Rotherham may be a bit harsh because they started the season well. But in this one, I'm going to say it will be a 1-1 draw. Moving on then to Watford as they take on QPR at Vicarage Road. And Watford, drawn the last few games and maybe affected by some key players maybe starting to leave / wanting out. But on the whole, second in the table, I think they'll be very, very pleased with their start against QPR side, which it's still taking a while to click, I think you could say, down in 17th. But Michael Beale, new coach, I guess that was kind of expected, really. So we'll see where it goes, but I think Watford are definitely favourites, so I'm going to say 2-0. Then finally, moving on to Wigan as they take on Burnley at the DW Stadium. And yeah, Wigan, they got a big win against Birmingham last time out. Except for that, in 15th, it's not been a bad start. Burnley in 16th, off that opening day, really impressive. Maybe we expected slightly more. Still plenty of time for the rebuild, learning a new style under Vincent Kompany. So yeah, it'll be intriguing to see how this goes. But I just fancy in terms of score quality here, Burnley may have slightly more, and I'm going to say I'll pick up the 1-0 win. Moving on then finally to Borough as they take on Swansea at the Riverside. And yeah, Borough 23rd in the table, really poor start. Swansea 20th, two teams who I thought would get off to a good start this season, be right up there competing at the top this season, but it just hasn't materialised for both these teams for whatever reason. And yeah, this is a big game for both of them because they need a win here to kind of kickstart their season. So yeah, it's a big game for both sides, but I just fancy Borough home advantage, maybe slightly stronger squad as well here to nick it. I'm going to say 2-0. But anyway guys, that's the video. Thanks for watching, and to like, share, subscribe, Netflix, comments down below if you want to. Thanks for daily wrestling news and subscribe to the channel, it'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.